So this time of year, a lot of people are baking, wanting to do different types of cookies. And today I'm going to show you a really unique cookie, the French macaroon. A lot of people feel intimidated by this because it's a really delicate cookie, and for a long time I was too. But I found that really what will help you be successful is having the right recipe. I went through a lot of recipes that failed. This particular recipe came from Martha Stewart, and it's almost foolproof. You follow these basic techniques, you'll end up with a really nice cookie. Before you begin, you want everything to be ready, because with this cookie, there's not a really good stopping point. One of the most important ingredients is your egg whites, to have them separated beforehand and sitting at room temperature. That's what we start with. And that's because when they're warm like that, it'll increase their ability to hold air, and they'll whip up a lot faster. So you'll start by adding your eggs first to the mixer, and then go ahead and turn it on to high. Once you see it start foaming, what you're going to add is a little bit of cream of tartar. This is an acid, and what it does is it stabilizes the egg whites, and it also helps it to increase its ability to hold air. Once it starts whipping up, I'll gradually add some granulated sugar. This is just a 1/4 cup. I'm using super fine sugar. That just is a lot finer. It'll dissolve much quicker, so it'll give you a better texture. You don't want to add it all at once or too soon, because then it prevents the meringue from whipping up nicely. So just a little bit at a time through the mixing. You might just mix it about 2 minutes on high. This is what you're looking for here. And it's something that's really stiff and shiny. Also at this point, if you want to add a liquid flavor, or like an extract or a color, you would do that now. And mixing is really the most crucial part. Especially when you go to add your dry ingredients, because there's so much fat in the almond flour. That fat will start breaking down your egg whites. So I'll just add half of it. You're trying to mix as little as possible. If you over mix, you're going to have a really runny product at the end. But if you under mix, you'll end up with a lumpy, grainy kind of looking cookie. You want it to be nice and smooth and shiny. So you just want to gently fold it till everything is evenly incorporated and mixed up. And you can kind of tell when it's ready, because if it's undermixed, it's going to just hold its form, but you want it to be slightly runny so that you know you can pipe it, but it's not going to keep the exact same form as what you're seeing. And then when you're ready, transfer it to your piping bag, and I'll show you how to pipe that. So this is about what you're looking for. It's not completely firm, but it's a little smooth and still runny. And that'll go in the piping bag. Great, so when you go to pipe, you want to keep it in one spot and squeeze until you're done. And then when you get the shape you want, don't just lift it up. You'll end up getting a peak on each cookie, which you don't want. So you're going to squeeze, and when you're done, take the pressure off. Leave their tip right on the cookie and just kind of go in a swirl. And that'll give you a smooth top. So just pipe them all out, leave them apart about 1 inch. At this point, what you do with macaroons is you leave them sitting out at room temperature for about a half hour to 40 minutes. And what you do is you end up getting a skin from the air over them. With any baked product, you usually notice it on bread. There's always moisture in it that wants to escape once it's in the oven. So with bread, you see it coming out the top, or you see the score where the bread's expanded. When you have a skin on it, the moisture can't get out. So what it does with the macaroon is the moisture comes out the bottom, and that gives you the nice traditional feet, what you're looking for right there. While it's sitting, heat your oven. And the recipe calls for about 10 minutes. You want to keep a close eye on them, because it only took me about 4. You don't want to get any color on these. Let them cool completely, and then they'll come right off of the parchment paper. And at that point, you fill them with your own filling. Traditionally, it's a buttercream. So like this with a strawberry, I'll put strawberry jam in there. If you want to do a pistachio, I just did a buttercream and I added pistachio paste. So really whatever you want to do, play around and make them unique to yourself. Right here I have a variety of different flavors and colors, which is really one of the nice things about them. You can make all these using the same basic recipe. If you don't want to do them all in one day, they freeze really well, so you can wrap them up really well. And they freeze for about 3 months, and it just takes about 20 minutes to let them defrost. I know a lot of people feel that French macaroons are a really difficult cookie to make, but what I've found throughout the years, for years I failed, but finding the right recipe has really made a huge difference. So if you use this basic recipe and follow these tips, you'll end up with a beautiful cookie. And if you have any questions about what we did, just leave us a comment.